Jonaki Raghavan. She is a classical dance exponent in the field of kathak. She is a performer, choreographer, teacher, and researcher. She is a faculty at Nalanda Nrityakala Mahavidyalaya in the kathak department and is pursuing her PhD from the same institute. So Jonaki has performed within India and abroad. She has been training students of all ages for several years, and even an Indian traditional arts foster self-discipline and self-exploration and contribute towards generating empathy. The propagation of the art form with its richness, beauty, and wisdom is what she aims to carry forward. So I'll further give it to Kanchan.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, Jonathan.
Thank you so much. Namaste, everybody. And Namaste, Savita ji. Namaste, Kanchan. And I'm really thankful to Nalanda Nrityakala Mahavidyalaya, who has our principal, Dr. Uma Rele, who has given Savita ji my contact. And I'm really happy that I could come here and I could be a part of the earlier session as well.
Glad that
Very
you're here.
interesting. So I wanted to ask some silly questions and I thought, नहीं,
Let's go.
thinking कि वो बाद में मैं पूछ लूंगी किसी ना किसी से.
No, we can roll with that. That's fine.
ठीक है. Right.
Let's make that interesting that way.
Okay, we will. Okay.
Cool.
इसके
Yeah.
बाद फिर करते हैं थोड़ा
Okay.
हमारा बातचीत हो जाने के बाद.
Okay.
Okay. So you start.
All right, sure. So I think I will not explain what this is about, since you already know how things happen, and how we are in this room, and what we are exploring. What we are exploring is the state of mind, which is pre-creative phase, or you can say, the painting, the art form has not taken birth. We are talking about pre-birth. Yeah. So this phase is somewhere where the question and the inquiries are going on. For me, it is still quite suspenseful. Is it controllable? It is not controllable. Is it just happening to us? Are we just the channels and it is just supposed to come to us? Or I can really figure, how to get it when I want to get it, the creative flow and stuff. So let's start with that. Is it controllable? Do we have this skill that when we want to create something, it comes to us? Is it naturally doing, or is there something like that?
Okay, I'll come to that a little bit. Let's build on it. So my thesis deals with something called Manodharma. Manodharma means the order of the mind. The order of the mind which decides almost everything that we do in our everyday lives. Creativity is definitely a part of it for a creator, an artist. Most of us, all of us are artists over here. So artists have a particular bent of mind. You have originality, you have the power of imagination, you have the power to express yourself, which are the few things which make you a creative person. So again, back to my thesis topic. So Manodharma in classical dance is my thesis. That is the order of the mind, which is the scope of improvisation, which is available to every artist in his or her medium. So mine is dance. And here the question is, which I asked myself was, again, diverting a little bit why I took this topic, because dance on stage can be very impactful at times, So if you've ever seen Birju Maharaj ji on stage, even if you haven't, it's okay. A person of his stature, if you see him out on the road, if you don't know he is the one, the big guru, you'd probably say he's just a gentleman. On the stage, he goes, he starts enacting. It could be a song, it could be a woman in love, a woman in despair, a woman in, happy, a small child, a mother, whoever. And you are mesmerized, your mind has gone into another phase, another place, a garden, a riverside, Yamuna, and you are actually imagining yourself being that mother, being that child, being that lovelorn woman, being that happy woman waiting for her lover. That is the power of Abhinaya. All right? And that is such a powerful art, but not everybody can do it. Some can do it and some cannot do it. So, what is that little thing which separates them? Of course, artists are born, and artists of that caliber would be born once after several years. That's a given thing. तो मेरा ये सोच था कि क्या ऐसा कुछ भी हो सकता है कि हम some pointers that we can give to the next generation where this powerful thing called Abhinaya can be kept in its rich form and can be done by everyone, till a यहाँ से नहीं तो अगर यहाँ तक हो तो यहाँ तक खींच के उसको ला सकते हैं, अगर उससे भी नीचे हो तो it's about uplifting yourself, growth from wherever you are. So that is where it was a small seed of a thought, and I spoke on it during our ये हमारा COVID के time पे. It was an online session, and our director, she's no more, Dr. Kanak Rele ji, she called me up and said, तो हाँ ठीक है, सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा किया है, and she's a perfectionist in everything, and vast knowledge है उनको सब चीज़ों के बारे में. So I was like, हाँ ma'am. Then when she called me up, maybe you can take this up as your thesis topic. I was really, really elated. I felt, yes, there was something. I mean, when a person of her stature saw, there was something in it. So I took it up, and as I explored, I kept thinking that yes, there is quite a bit. So when Savita ji's call came and she spoke to me about the subconscious, I had not worked on subconscious per se, but mind is something I was working with. The process of the mind, which is responsible for your Abhinaya process, whatever you are doing. Even when I'm moving my hand, even when I'm smiling, even when I'm showing anger, whatever I'm doing, there is the mind working. And that mind has the subconscious also influencing it, impacting it, affecting it at all times. Even when the conscious mind stops working, the subconscious is constantly at work. So, and now then I started reading also on it a little more, because subconscious was not something which I was delving into too much. So again, a big thank you to you, because it gave me a different angle to think about, Yes, thank you. So then, subconscious, it was very, very interesting, because you always feel कि ऐसा हुआ कैसे? What you were saying that time, कि कभी-कभी लगता है कि अरे ये बार में तो हमने सोचा था, ऐसा हो जाएगा करके हमने तो कभी सोचा नहीं था, and it happened. Yeah. There are so many times all these, ये deja vu types एक होता है types, So there is something. Nothing magical about it, मगर कुछ तो है. You have been thinking about it so much that it has happened. There is a power, there is an energy to it, which takes a form, which manifests in a way. I think it's quite unexplainable. Abhi tak to, I mean, it's in the arena of spiritualism and probably science.
Yeah. As much explainable, as much unexplainable. That's the phrase. So yeah, it's there but not there, and it's so confusing.
Yes, it is confusing, but at the same time, it is very. I mean, it keeps you curious.
Yeah.
It keeps you happily curious. You keep thinking that, okay, there is something working without our knowledge.
True.
So, whether it is controllable or not, I don't think it is in our hands to a huge extent. All right. But what is in our hands is what the painters were talking about, is to an extent, is the technical aspect of it. That might lead to the aspect which we do not have a hand in, subconscious. Secondly, the conscious and subconscious both have to do with our everyday lives, what we see, what we feel, what we
all the inputs,
emotions, whatever, all the inputs of our everyday life, what we read, see, touch, whatever our sensory, the five senses give us, we get all those inputs. While the conscious mind has worked on it and probably forgotten about it or given up on it, there was this word I came across, incubation, which keeps happening inside the mind, which is the subconscious part. that keeps working. That keeps working, because of which we often come across a sudden revelation, a sudden thought, a sudden idea, dreams. Dreams तो मैं इतना करती हूँ, and I keep thinking कि क्यों मैंने ऐसा dream किया. And weirdly, I don't remember those dreams in the morning.
Yeah, they're so fragile, right?
Those fragile, एकदम जैसे sand के हाथ से निकल जाता है ऐसे करके. There was one day, a few days back, I got up from sleep. It was a bad dream. And before I forgot, I wrote it down at 3 in the morning. And later on, when I read those words that I had written at 3 in the morning, I didn't remember nothing. No images came into my mind.
Yeah.
So it's that slippery.
Yeah.
Anyhow, coming back to this, a gut feeling, deja vu.
Yeah.
These are all the manifestations of the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
I don't have a control on what I dream. I don't have a control on that gut feel. It just comes like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But what I read, what I see, those I have control upon.
Right.
Okay. So,
You have the control on the input, basically.
Input.
Your environment.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you can tell me if you have a control on it. That's going to come to a lot of work for me. And yes, so that is how it
Yeah.
is. Dance में choreography में, if I'm talking about choreography में, in our recent annual show, 2 of my grown-up kids, I mean, they have learned for a long time, and बच्चों का सबका सब कुछ हो गया, उनका ही कुछ हुआ नहीं था. I had chosen a bhajan for them, and but I had not had any time to work on it, and I had never danced it myself. I was supposed to choreograph it for them, and this was dealing with Krishna, who was lamenting to his friend counselor, and he was lamenting that this was the time when he had already left Braj, Vrindavan, and he was already a king. He had left, and he was lamenting that I am not able to let go of my memories. I am here, I am bodily here, but my mind is still by the Yamuna, where the birds' sounds are still coming to my ears. I can still hear the women talking while going to fetch water. This. So I had to build on that. This was the basic framework of the story. Everybody knew Krishna's stories. So we had to build it. And nothing was coming to my mind because there was so much happening. So much happening. इधर भी ये भी देखना है, वहाँ स्टिचिंग भी देखना है, कपड़ों की स्टिचिंग भी हो रही है, यहाँ कोरियोग्राफी भी हो रही है, म्यूजिशियंस आ नहीं रहे हैं, बड़े लोग अपना काम कर रहे हैं, बच्चे नहीं कर रहे हैं, मम्मियाँ बार बार फोन कर रही हैं. All these things happen during a huge thing. So then we just thought, and whenever your mind is calm, I think that is when the subconscious takes over. Your mind is all active. So one thing, meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation is one way
One
where
enabler.
you can
Yes.
reach.
Yes. Yes.
So I didn't get to the meditative stage here. I just reached the calming
Shant.
stage. Shant.
Yeah.
Just sat down. ठीक है, 3 of us, the 2 of them who were going to do the dance, and we sat down and we started talking about it. ऐसे story जैसे. But क्या क्या हो सकता था? What all could he have thought about? Because words में उतना कुछ था नहीं. There were words where the mother was craving for him. Mother would go around looking for him, thinking that he's still there. The gopis would think about him and they would just wonder that, oh my God, he must have come back. But he wouldn't. So here, the sudden thought came as his memories were there. He was here. So then what I decided to do was, one would be Krishna and one would be the memory of
Wow.
Krishna. Okay?
What a beautiful thought.
So the one girl was enacting all the things like the Makhan Chori, all right? And this girl would momentarily come there and eat the Makhan or whatever, and suddenly the entire memory would go away. And then he'd suddenly say, oh my God, I'm no longer there. Then there would be this mother, then there'll be Radha, who would be thinking about him, who has him with her, and they will be playing together, whatever, jhula wala, jo kuch bhi hai. And then suddenly she sees that he's no longer there. So I'm just giving a small example of how it went. So the moment you calm down and things worked. See this improvisation in work. It was not there in my mind at all. कहीं ना कहीं रहा होगा कि memories can take the form, a physical form as well. So this creative expression, I feel, would have come from somewhere.
Yeah.
It was not from my working mind. It was there somewhere in the mind. Mind has a mind
कहीं
of
चल
its
रहा
own.
था. Yeah. कहीं चल रहा था.
Mind has a mother mind. I had written it somewhere long back. Ki, what leads the mind? The mother, like my mother leads me. The mind is led by the mother mind. The mind is led by somebody. So ऐसा था. And yes, things led to one another, and we did it. One more interesting thing which I feel I'll share with you later, but next question is yours.
I think the flow was so good that I wanted to just keep listening to this.
मुझे भी सुनना है.
Yeah. But what I captured from what you spoke right now is there's a weave. Yeah. There's a weave of present to export somewhere and the present again. And there's a weave of in and out. Yeah. Like I can be sitting here and I can be zoned out also. That's my weave. Yeah. तो है नहीं है और ये तो बच्चे करते ही है मतलब classroom setup everybody knows what happens there. वो तो weave ही है. So let's talk about this weave. When do you think it helps to just zone out? I mean, zone out is seen as a negative thing, you know. It's very odd that I'll sit in a class and zone out. It's a guilt thing. ये नहीं करना चाहिए. So, yeah, I think there is something about the zone out to be seen as positive something and to use as an enabler. You know, when you want, if you use these enablers, it works in a certain way. So I think when you're sitting quietly in that shant mode, you know, that's when you got it. But then that, do you think it is like totally in your control where, you know, or you have your experience zone outs while in performance, while on the stage, and as a positive thing? Yeah.
We have a part of the dance called the Gat Bhav. Gat Bhav. Gat Bhav, unlike any other, these are the only things which are either being recited or being played on the tabla or pakhavaj. And there'll be a cycle of music called the Lehra, which will go on. So this dance is not supported by any lyrics. उसमें कोई बोल नहीं होती हैं, in the sense कोई words नहीं होती. It's not supported by any literature. It is only on the basis of the tabla playing the 4 beats, and it's a cycle which continues. So उसपे हमें एक पूरा कहानी बोलना होता है. For example, the story of Makanjori, if I would take, वो पूरा एक story अगर मुझे बोलना है, there are different characters. So first the mother comes, she makes the makhan and she puts it inside. While putting it there in the usual place, she thinks that no, I'm not going to put it there. That little one is going to take this every time he is doing that. Let me look for a place. Then she walks around on the stage. She's been looking here and there, यहाँ वहाँ इधर उधर करके, and then she says, ये एक अच्छी जगह है, ऊपर है ये, चलो उसको हाथ में नहीं आएगा उसका. And she puts it, closes it, and then she checks the height. हाँ ये height तो अच्छा ही है, वो तो छोटू सा है, वो छोटे छोटे हाथ हैं उसके, वो तो नहीं कर सकेगा. He's very happy with her intelligence, and then she picks up her makka, gives it a look. Yes, I've done a good job today. She opens the door, steps out and goes. Here there's a change of character, which we do. There's a technical way of doing it. Palta le karke, and then ka dhana dekita dhatuna kat. This is Krishna, and he says, "Mummy to gayi. Very hungry today. Thai tat thai tat ta thai tat thai घर पे तो बना होगा." Then he walks thai tat thai, दरवाजा खोल के अंदर गया, thai tat thai, यहाँ तो मम्मी ने जहाँ बनाया था वहाँ तो पड़ा हुआ है, thai tat ta, यहाँ तो रहना चाहिए, यहाँ क्यों नहीं है? This is the usual place where it's kept. Thai tat thai tat thai tat thai thai tat thai tat ta thai tat thai tat ta thai tat ta thai tat thai tat ta. Then he jumps, thai tat ta thai tat ta. कहीं कहीं story, it's you are the storyteller. It's up to you how you want to build it. कहीं दोस्तों को बुला के चलो पिरामिड बनो, कहीं कहीं which I do is दिखा उसको एक लंबा सा लकड़ी जैसा कुछ था, लकड़ी की वेट से वो भी गिर रहा है, इट्स टू बिग फॉर हिम. So when I am building this story, and every time it happens, the entire story if I am doing, here he eats, he has it all over his body and mind, and तभी आवाज मिली, दरवाजा देखा तो दरवाजे से तू आ रही है, कोने में जाके अपनी ही आंख बंद करके बैठ गया. The psychology of the child saying that my eyes are closed, nobody can see me. अपनी आंख बंद करे, he is sitting. Then we take पलटा again and the mother comes. पहले तो फिसल रही थी वो, आज भी करके गया, इतना कुछ किया फिर भी मगर आज उसको छोड़ूंगी नहीं. उसको पहले तो हंसी आ गई, ये देखो बैठा हुआ है अपनी आंख बंद करके, सोच रहा है कि nobody can see him, मगर उसको तो आज डिसिप्लिन करना ही पड़ेगा. The music keeps going, then he's मैंने तो नहीं किया है, मैं सच बोल रहा हूँ, मैंने नहीं किया है. She asks, then you have them all over your body and everywhere, what about that? रोने लगता है. Mother cannot see tears coming, she melts completely. So this is the basic thing, that वही लाके कहीं से तो कहीं बचाया हुआ था. ऐसा. So it's a story being said.
In our classical forms, dance or music, when an exponent is performing, yesterday's performance and today's performance is not the same. It may be the same Krishna,
Exactly.
same Yashoda.
Exactly.
So your mind has taken over. You are looking at the audience, you are looking at the light. You have gone beyond yourself. What you present is not what you did yesterday, or you presenting what you didn't do on your yesterday. So that
Exactly, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is what
Creation
I'm
happens
saying. Creation
in the
happens
flow.
there.
Yeah, in the flow. Yeah.
But yes, this happens after you have learnt your art for several years. Yeah. So the technique, the grammar has to be within you. Otherwise, you cannot improvise. You can then improvisation. फिर बिना सीखे improvisation. Then you have gone out of your framework. Then you are not doing kathak anymore. You're doing something else. So nowadays, people do a lot of work which is improvisation. But where is the basic hold?
Yeah.
If you do not have the basic hold, then what are you doing fusion on? What are you doing improvisation on?
Yeah.
So you'd have to
Keeping
first
the core
know,
centered.
core held tight.
Yes.
So what you said was very, very true. That's what I'm saying. That creativity happens on the spot.
You learned for 7 years and then your subconscious
Yes.
is taken over.
That time I'm not me anymore. When I'm enacting the child, I'm actually thinking myself as the child, and that is not something which I'm consciously doing. That requires complete immersion. That immersion sometimes happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. हमारे गुरु लोग कहते हैं कि वो होने के लिए ना बड़ों की आशीर्वाद होती है. That momentarily where you forget yourselves completely and you are one with your art, your character. You think and act exactly how that character is thinking or acting. Okay, so that doesn't happen easily, but whenever it happens, it's a different feeling. And those are the performances where people have cried. All right, then they have come and told me that Jonaki, this is what we have felt. So when I think that yes, but I was also feeling completely immersed in it. What must have happened? I was not in control of what I was doing. So here, the mind beyond the mind was
Operating at that level.
At that level.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, those are the places where subconscious takes over.
Cool.
And if you ask me how it did,
No, that's in flow.
yes, that's the flow.
Yeah.
I think again, you'd have to stick to your technique. You'd have to stick to your technique so strong. All the do's and don'ts which have been given to you.
Right.
All right, and build up on those things in such a way. I can only speak about dance. I can't speak on the other medium, but they must be having
There must be some anchors.
yeah, something or the other definitely for them also.
Is the sadhana also?
It's a sadhana. Like I said, वो साधना आप करके ही आए हो तब जाके
That's
वो चीज हो रही
Yeah,
है. हाँ, otherwise it would not. मैंने 2 shows किए हैं, 5 साल सीखा है, नहीं होता. Then it would not happen. So throughout our lives, we will be students only because we are still trying to explore ourselves. हाँ, and one more thing is, which I tell everybody, the same toda, same tukda, same makhan chori, same panghat pe chhedchhad, whatever, I have been learning since I was 8, 9, 10 years old. Okay, when I'm doing it myself or when I'm teaching it to any of my students, it feels different every time. Every time something new is added to it. What could it be? My experiences, my added experiences over the years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have grown as an
Everything
individual.
compounding there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all that is getting added.
Yeah.
Yes.
The inputs are
कहीं
building.
और भी कुछ
the
चीजें
performance
गई
is
हैं
building.
अंदर.
Yes.
Good, bad, ugly, जो भी.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those get added as well.
Yeah.
How much does surrendering play as an important part in this overall practice that you do? Because knowing it's also connected to your subconscious and something takes over at some point. So does surrendering in general kind of become a way of kind of offering, or kind of it helps you with your practice or your performance, make it easier? Or does it help you kind of get into the flow once you surrender to that source or to that particular?
Surrendering is really, really important. Surrendering will happen only after you have spent a lot of time delving into that idea, delving in that character. If I am playing Draupadi, I have not seen Draupadi. I have only heard about her. I have only heard from my grandmother. I have seen महाभारत का serial देखा था, books पढ़े थे, and then more books by more people. So in my mind, I have created her in my mind. And my Draupadi will also have a touch of me somewhere. Me somewhere. My first guru used to say that, don't copy my Abhinaya. My Abhinaya, and she is a very powerful dancer. Her Abhinaya is like, you'll just be gaping like this. Itni powerful unki Abhinaya hai. But she'd always say that, you will not copy what I'm teaching you the techniques. I'm teaching you, I'm correcting you on the angles, on what there's a word called auchitya, that is the appropriateness. What is appropriate and what is not appropriate, I'll guide you there. But your Abhinaya, you'll be you in it. My Abhinaya will have me in it. Because it reflects a jhalak of my personality in it. You can't be absolutely out of yourself.
Yeah.
It is out of yourself. And I'm being a child, a woman of my age, acting as a child, I'm coming out, but wahan bhi kahin na kahin, I am there.
It's you as a child. So
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, me as a child.
Yeah.
Yes,
True.
correct.
So it's all what we collect as observers. I think we are deep observers. As Kalakar, we become deeper observers.
Correct.
And deeper observing is also a method of, वो क्या स्टोर करना है
Right.
तो वो स्टोरेज के अंदर
क्या स्टोर करना है ये शायद उतना हमारे हाथ में
स्टोर
नहीं, स्टोर तो होता ही है. तो
Yeah.
हम क्या ऑब्जर्व करेंगे और कितनी डीपली ऑब्जर्व करेंगे.
Yeah.
When I was doing the study on Manodharma, I was looking at all these YouTube videos and all. So the big people who were talking, they were saying that observe everything. Observe people, observe children, observe nature, observe everything. Your small nuances about them is somewhere going to help you somewhere in the choreography. You don't know where, in what choreography, in what context it might help you. We don't know. But it's definitely going to help you somewhere.
Yeah.
You are just storing experiences.
Absolutely. And art is so much life. I think we are just talking life. In general, we are talking life. You're not.
Like when I was looking at these pictures when you were talking about these. So when I am looking at the picture as a dancer, I am seeing emotions in them. I'm seeing emotions in them. Somewhere I am seeing a struggle. Somewhere I am seeing absolute relaxation. Somewhere I am seeing a question being asked. Somewhere I am seeing a small joking, thoda sa mockingness.
Mockingness is
Yes.
also there, yeah.
So I'm seeing emotions.
Yeah.
I don't know what others would be seeing, but हमारे लिए emotions play a very important role.
Yeah.
And वो emotions जो मैं feel कर रही हूँ, I am supposed to be making my audience feel those emotions, and that is the core job of what do you say? Not getting that word, but that is what I am meant to do as a artist. If I am unable to do that, वैसे निष्पत्ति मतलब वो जो उसको ट्रांसफर करना, ट्रांसमिट करना, I should be able to do it with my body, my mind. There are technical aspects to it. With the help of all those things, I do something. वो सारा कुछ है उसमें, you know, like lines and what they were talking about. हमारे इसमें भी है भाव, अनुभाव, सात्विक भाव, वो सारा उस सब का हेल्प ले करके. But finally, even after everything, खाना सब देख लोगे, सब कुछ ये डालना है, वो डालना है, वो डालना है, वो. But कभी कभी मम्मी जैसा नहीं बनता है, नानी जैसा नहीं बनता है.
Nothing is as prescribed.
So that extra thing. What is that extra thing? In dance context, I would like to figure out what is that extra thing which is making Birju Maharaj ji's dance so different. मैं उनका खाली example ले रही हूँ अभी. There are many people. But what is it that they are doing? What is in their minds that they are doing? वो तो हमको समझ में नहीं आएगा, but at least कुछ तो पता चले, ताकि हम वो आगे के जनरेशन को बोलेंगे तो अभिनय जैसी एक इतनी रिच एक परंपरा, you know, it doesn't die down with so much distraction happening in today's times. That is what was it.
So yet one more question, since we are in this flow where you said there are many characters that you get to play. Now, while it's very slippery, you know this, like you just go in the flow and it's slippery, you're in that mode, you're in one character. But then there is a control, I feel, because you come back and you play another role. Yeah. So there's a switch and you have caught the timing also, which means there is control. That totally proves that you can maneuver.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. So that's only with the training, okay?
Yes.
Otherwise आप उसी में
There's a
रहोगे तो
practice
फिर
around.
हाँ, फिर वो स्टोरी बोलना ही नहीं हो रहा है. अब मेरे स्टोरी में कृष्ण भी हैं, इंद्र भी हैं, गांव वाले भी हैं.
उससे ज्यादा टाइमिंग
है, स्पेसिंग है, कितना कुछ है. ज्यादा पीछे जाऊंगी तो जाके स्क्रीन में टकराऊंगी, वहां जाऊंगी तो स्टेज से गिर जाऊंगी. स्पेसिंग. In my mind,
so much sensory things happening everywhere.
So many things to be taken care of. Yes,
right.
But that is where you've been, training come first, and then comes those.
Exactly.
Yes.
And to build upon what you said, I think there's a big word called allow. So I think people who practice more allow themselves to weave in more. And that allow is their practice, and that's where the catch comes, where you can switch and मतलब अगर sad mood है तो उसमें से निकल के फिर एक happy a scenario create करना, the entire like giving that. So it's a practice of the weave.
Practice
and
to completely devote to
yeah devote, and then you switch also, like it's a weave. So you come back,
devoted,
you come in,
it's like freedom in that frame.
So
you're subconsciously
so it's
free
beautiful,
to do what you want, but while you're still in that rule book or
in the framework,
in the guide.
Absolutely. In our framework.
Right.
Again, framework की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग, तो किसी belief के framework के अंदर, जैसे Indian philosophy also talks of samskaras. All right. So subconscious, this you might believe, you might not believe, doesn't have to do with what we have experienced in this life alone.
Not necessary.
Yes.
Absolutely not necessary.
Not necessarily, yeah. So we believe in reincarnation.
Yeah.
All right. So kahin our past deeds are also responsible for our decision making process, our
DNA
emotions, our
What's coded in that DNA?
DNA coding. Yes.
Yeah, totally.
So this is again belief के framework में. Necessarily believe करने की जरूरत है. I believe in it. Yes. But I sometimes wonder कि why did I do it? Why did I think about this? Okay, ये तो मुझे किसी ने सिखाया नहीं था, किसी ने मुझे बोला नहीं था. How did this thing come into my mind? ऐसे करके. So then I tell myself, yes, there might be something which I haven't fed myself in this life. Okay, it didn't have to do with my cultural beliefs, whatever I've experienced, whatever emotional upheavals, happy, sad, जो कुछ भी हुआ है उसके बीच में ये आता ही नहीं था. Then ये कहाँ से आया? So this is also
and
something.
it's a very weird thing कि हमारी रचना में से भी आता है कभी-कभी. Yeah. So it's a drag basically. So you go in the flow you meet that character which you aim to be, and that drags along. Yeah, so it can be burning out of your own act and your own creation, and it just comes and it sits with you, and it becomes a part of you. Now, if we talk all this, people say, get lost, you're gone case. But the one who practices really knows this, yeah, and can absolutely like agree to it seamlessly. Jaise ke, it's so comfortable talking right now.
Yeah.
And with the bunch that sits here, this is so comfortable. No left brainers here, thankfully. Hi.
But she's also enjoying herself.
Yes,
I can see it in her
yes.
face. She's enjoying herself.
So yeah, I think we all speak a language, we unite, and the creative beings actually agree somewhere, and that's where we all have experienced all this. I mean, it's just easy for us to talk, deal with these things, and yeah. So now let's talk. Have you figured some of these anchors, how to bring back, how to come back? So if you are enacting and you are, say, playing one of the roles, and it's the mother maybe right now, and you are playing from your experience as well. So are there any anchors where you know that this is my point where I am going to now speak or now enact and change here? So are there any anchor points? Like, have you built those, after this sequencing hai kya kuch?
Sequencing, no.
An anchor can also mean in very simple words that ज़्यादा तो नहीं हो गया, yeah, that way.
That comes with being under your guru. In our tradition, it mostly being, उसके बाद वो एक sense develop हो जाता है कि अभी ज़्यादा हो जा रहा है. You need to cut it here. Dancers are generally very clever people, okay? So they have to gauge a lot of things. Space, muscle memory, वो सब तो है ही है. उसके साथ साथ ना थोड़ा सा ये भी देखना होता है, what is the audiences, where are they? Are they very receptive or not? Receptive audience milna is like a blessing for us, So you can go free and your audience is with you. So anchors, yes, anchors पे हम पहले ही काम कर लेते हैं. We sometimes work in front of the mirror.
Okay.
Or sometimes we make somebody sit and do. When my students are doing, I am observing them. When I am doing, I may ask my guru to watch it once. So, because they obviously have more experience than us, and they would be able to figure out that when this is done on the stage, how will it be perceived? I'm talking about that perspective when it's being done on the stage, because it is the stage art after all. So, तो वो anchors हम पहले से ही करते हैं, and कहीं हमको अगर लग रहा है करते समय that no, I'm getting too emotionally drawn into it, pulling back. That comes with your active brain telling you, conscious brain telling you that come back.
So it's really strange. You're saying while you're performing, you are in a zone, and also saying, and you're also observing the audience.
Here,
gauging is it
Dr. Kanakrele, our director, she used to say that your abhinay has to reach a level where you have to see yourself dancing.
Oh.
You have to see yourself dancing, from another eye. You are dancing yourself, but as if you are observing yourself, that yes, this is what I am doing. That is kada dete tha na. You yourself are
spectator
observing. You are the dancer, you are the spectator, and you are enjoying what you are doing yourself. Even if you are crying, you are enjoying it.
So many multi-dimensions.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's all coexisting.
I know it's coexisting. Really.
Crazy.
But it is crazy.
Yeah.
And it is something so interesting.
It's a detailed mesh. Yeah, it's a very detailed mesh.
Meditation, they say sometimes, okay, now you're sitting in a green field and you're listening to the river flowing. Now see that you are sitting in this green field and the river is flowing beside you.
Hmm.
So it's a kind of same thing, watch yourself do that.
Yeah.
So you're actually meditating on stage.
It's
Yeah.
Yes.
like
Yes.
what
Yes.
when people are talking about manifestation or whatever, you're meant to see yourself doing
Right,
a certain
right,
thing that
right.
you want it to happen.
So when you're talking about sadhana, this is what sadhana can only take you. Otherwise, it will not take you. I mean, if you're doing on a superficial level, we are not talking about that. You really need to get deep into it. Only then you'd have to let go of a lot of things, and you'd have to focus on it completely, concentrate on it. Then it's possible. Yes.
Let go is a very big word. Instantly, ये भी करना, ये भी करना, ये भी करना, अब let go भी करना. But that's wonderful. Yeah.
When you know that you will perform, आपके मन में तब क्या चल रहा होता है before the performance?
Ideally, if you're about to performance, see, I know what I'm going to be performing. Say I'm going to be performing a particular piece to do with a particular character. I try and keep quiet. I don't talk to anyone that time. I don't like anybody coming and talking to me that time. I try to think like that character as much as possible, because I need to get into that mood, into that mode. If it's going to be a composition where the dominant emotion is sorrow, then I can't be all chatty, and suddenly I go and do sorrow. It's humanly not possible. It doesn't work with me. It might work with others. So I keep quiet. I go through those lines if there are lyrics involved. I try and start feeling those emotions beforehand itself.
Yeah.
And then I go on the stage. So that players would be doing a little warm up and going before they get into
it's a soaking
match.
time.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a soaking time. True.
So that's what I generally
Have
do.
you come across something like, if we were just talking about this earlier, you have to do a piece where you're crying on stage, and suddenly you have to turn into another character. How do you control that emotion? How do you control that? Maybe you have tears, and how do you control it? Or do you not cry on stage? You don't let yourself go to that extent that you actually have tears in your eyes.
Tears can come into your eyes.
Fully into that character.
Fully into it,
So,
yes. Ashru. This is a Sattvika Bhava. There are 8 Sattvik Bhavas. The Bhavas, there are certain Bhavas which are transitory in nature, which come and go, which happens with all of us. I mean, मैंने देखा वो भूल भी गई that अचानक से एक observe किया वो चला गया. On stage, there are these transitory Bhavas also, the Vabhichari Bhavas, and there are these Sattvika Bhavas. There are only 8 of them, which are very difficult to portray on stage. One of them is tears. Then there is pralaya, you fall, and then a horripilation where you're, this is standing. This happens in real life. But for a created world, Natya is a created world. You are doing something which you're following a script. All right. It is not happening as a day-to-day life, you're not reacting to a stimuli.
Right.
All right. So here, crying is required, and not everybody can do that. To do that, you have to stimulate a certain part of your mind. ऐसा बोला जाता है. I have not tried that. With breath control, you can do that. So that part of the mind, you are crying, and immediately, if you take a small story, if you take something of mythology, where Draupadi Chir Haran, if you can take, all right, she is crying, and immediately you will have to enact Dushasan, who is pulling the rope. So you are in 2 characters, where she is pleading. She has tears,
Opposite.
and here he is enjoying it. Yes, humiliating somebody. All right, that. So you would have to get into both the characters. Here she is crying also immediately. But then that you'd have to be of that caliber. उसको ऊपर से भी कर सकते हैं, ऊपर एकदम डूब के भी कर सकते हैं. You can have tears in your eyes, but the moment you change into Dushasan's, the body language changes. The people start thinking that I am Dushasan again. And the body language again changes, pleading. So then those tears don't even make any difference. The water coming out of your eyes do not make any difference. Because it's the story, then the people are following the story. But to show that particular character's sorrow, the grief, you had to cry, and you did. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि पूरा एकदम, ऐसा अगर वो पूरा ही story ही
Sad.
involved that, then the dancer would allow herself to go to that limit. But if it requires a
Immediate
changeover,
state.
switch over,
Yeah.
then there is a control, a lock, come back. So yes, बहुत सारा वो टेक्निक काम करता है वहाँ. As you go, you know how the flow is to be controlled.
So now the last part, I think let's talk about role of faith. Role of faith in creativity, which means creation हुई नहीं है, रचना हुई नहीं है, पर faith है. And वो faith is the X factor which differentiates you as an artist from the others, the faith. So deeper the faith, at least I believe so, deeper the faith or deeper the confidence, I don't know, is it confidence or what, but faith is a bigger word, because I haven't painted yet, I haven't created yet, but I have full faith that I will do justice to it. Let's talk about faith in dance.
Faith has to be there in everything. I am going to finish my PhD. That is faith, okay? And faith tha, इसीलिए somehow I came here and I'm able to discuss a part of my thesis. You know, one उसका एक हाथ leg. I'm able to discuss this. This is fate.
Yeah.
This is absolutely fate. And why did that fate happen also? We have a hand in our fate also. It's not that हाँ destiny तो है ही, जो होना है सो होगा ही, आप चाहो तो भी उसको रोक नहीं सकते हो, अच्छा भी हो सकता है, बुरा भी होएगा. But there is somewhere with the power of thought, you can make things happen.
Yeah. It attracts something.
Yes, it does happen. You know, when I came to Bombay, I am from Kolkata. So when I got married and I came over, it was at a very young age and everything was absolutely different. You know, mummy के घर से आई हूँ, pampered child. यहाँ आके I don't even know that I have to buy vegetables and keep them in the fridge to open and see what to cook. रात को आके खोला fridge और कुछ नहीं है. I mean, ऐसा था, you know, it was that kind of a mindset. वहाँ आने के बाद for momentarily my dance was stopped completely क्योंकि I was adjusting to a lot of things. Then when we moved to Powai and Powai IIT में the fests happen. You know, the IIT के fests वो वहाँ होता है and वहाँ cultural जो उनका जो एक theme रहता है वो classical dance में. I'd want to watch it. You are allowed to go and sit and watch it in the audience. So I had not been dancing for a long time. Okay, and I went there and I was sitting there, and there were all these students who were dancing on it, and that craving in me, you know, that craving in me, मुझे पता ही नहीं था that craving was that ठीक है dance नहीं हो रहा है तो नहीं, there are so many other things to take care of, new शहर and everything and you know, life, and you know, the only thing I wanted was to, in that dark auditorium, I should be on the stage dancing. But I can't tell you where that thought came from, and I actually,
it's like
believe me,
addiction.
on that PC Saxena auditorium, I must have done 100 shows after that. Really, it was like amazing. But somehow, when I was feeling that the feeling was so powerful,
So strong,
I felt I will be there. How, when, why, what? God alone knows. I picturized myself. It was such a convincing
and
picture that I saw in my mind that I am going to be there on the stage. I'll be doing footwork on that stage. I'll be taking checkers on that stage. Where that thought came from, I don't know. And it happened. And so many times we danced on that stage afterwards.
So good to hear.
Yes, it was.
That's amazing.
So, fate has a big role to play. Positive thoughts are
they're the magnets to bring more.
Pull them.
And yes, as you said, I think that craving, what you call, I call it zoot. It's literally like an addiction. You know, like clay से खेलना है तो खेलना है, बस चाहिए.
Yes.
So it's like क्यों चाहिए? And it's like a pacifier. The minute you get it, you're like शांत. हाँ, अब दूसरी चीजें हो सकती है. But जब तक वो नहीं मिला है, मतलब कुछ नहीं हो सकता है. So yeah, I think one of the things in this is also to know when to give yourself what. You know, the timings of things. I think that is also, timing is also a very, very big thing in the whole this thing. That, you know, like I could do this show before, I could speak about this before, but why now? Maybe there is a meaning to now, and maybe I as a person has evolved by now, you know. So this project, actually what you're seeing here, happened to me in 2010. Wrapped up, kept inside, not looked back, and suddenly this year I'm out, and with that confidence that I'm going to bring this almost everywhere, because I'm just seeing the strength that yes, this needs to be spoken about. The need just came now.
There's
How?
a
I
time
don't
for
know.
everything.
Yeah.
There is a time for everything. If it has to happen, it will happen. So the conviction is something you'll have to keep
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
ठंडा ही है मगर रहेगा.
Yeah.
And it is going to happen. If you really love something and desire it in a good way, it is definitely going to happen.
Right. Right. True.
Yeah.
True. So the last part of it now again. Is there something that you can perform once more for us?
Oh,
Yeah, really. It was so, and I want to sit there to really see it now.
Subodhji
Yeah.
is very good at sketching when a person performs.
Wow.
Subodhji, yes, Subodhji, yes.
Paper pass kar lo.
Yeah, yeah. रीमा ऊपर होंगे ना पेपर हमारे.
बोर्ड है
बोर्ड है, पेपर है, हाँ बोर्ड है, पेपर है, या
अच्छा वो होगी ना
I will sit and do here.
बट मुझे तो देखना है तो मैं तो यहाँ बैठने वाली हूँ. हाँ
हाँ, तो मैं बैठ के ही छोटी पीस ही करती हूँ क्योंकि जगह भी कम है और म्यूजिक भी तो है नहीं ना. तो क्या करें?
म्यूजिक
बड़ा
कोई
चीज़
अगर
है।
आपको चाहिए तो हम यूट्यूब पे देख सकते हैं.
yes we can play. Yeah we can play
म्यूजिक तो
yeah we have the speaker as well. Instantly we'll make sure arrangements. Yeah.
see, it has to. You
Board
people
hai,
will
board hai.
enjoy it most if you know the the theme, the music, anything that you people want. Any ghazals or something which everybody knows where I can improvise right now.
Anything. We love
No
whatever
actually
you
yeah.
want.
What's your favorite thing?
Whatever you want to do is fine.
Your subconscious tells you
Okay, what with this for us? Yeah, what with this for us?
एक पेपर इसके लिए बोला वो बुक दे.
वो देखो ना वो छोटे पेपर्स भी हैं और हाँ ये भी है.
बड़ा भी है
हाँ छोटे स्क्वायर्स भी हैं. I will sit here. नहीं, I'll sit. Am I blocking this by any?
Because these are all recorded.
Am I blocking?
नहीं मिलता है. इसीलिए I was saying that if we go for some ghazals or something which everybody क्या? हाँ? एक किस्म है. This is a kavita. All right, it's a kavit. We say when we dance to a poem, it's not too long. Huh? It's a story through a small poem. Maybe I can say two small kavitas, right? Because they have words to it. It will help to understand. So this is about a small girl. Okay, a small girl, young girl who has dressed herself up. सुनहरी साड़ी वो पहन के वो जा रही है, खेलने के लिए जा रही है. किसके साथ? कृष्ण के साथ खेलने के लिए जा रही है. तो एक समय गृह से निकसी. I'll just say the poem once. मेरे साथ रिसाइट करो आप. Ready 1 2. Ready 1 2 3 4. एक समय गृह से निकसी आली पहिन के चीर सुरंगी साड़ी खेलत कूदत जाहिर. खेलते कूदते जा रही है. खेलत कूदत जाही रही सखी जाही रही नंदलाल की बाड़ी. नंदलाल की बाड़ी में जा रही है. So this till here all is okay. She has dressed herself up and she is going. Now what happens is नंदलाल की बाड़ी कच्ची कली a bud. कच्ची कली एक तोड़ लई.
I'm not getting body. Can you stand and do it?
Okay, no, now I'm just enacting. I'm just telling you the poem. Yeah. So I'll sit and do only, but I'll actually dance. I'll say and dance at that time. If you want me to stand and dance also I can do, but my जगह will be restricted over here. तो करूँगी मैं खड़े होके करती हूँ. Yeah, I'll do that. So कच्ची कली एक तोड़ लई यही कारण बाह मरोरत माली. तो वो जाके वो कच्ची कली उसको तो दिखी बहुत सुंदर है, उसने तो उसको तोड़ लिया मगर कहीं तो माली था. And he catches her hands. कारण बाह मरोरत माली. Now she gets really angry. आग लगी ब्रिज की बगियां. इतना बड़ा हिम्मत है कि मेरे हाथ को आके पकड़ा. आग लगी ब्रिज की बगियां एक फूल के कारण लाखन गारी. मतलब इतनी सारी बातें सुनाए एक छोटी सी फूल के कारण. लाखन गारी. नाउ द ऑनलुकर्स पता, एक फूल के कारण उसने मुझे इतनी सारी बातें सुना, हे भगवान इतनी सारी बातें सुना, एंड लास्टली शी टेक्स इट एंड थ्रोज इट अवे ओनली. पूरा गुस्सा उसका उसमें. इज अ स्मॉल थीम, इट्स अ टाइनी थीम, बट द इमोशन ऑफ अ स्मॉल गर्ल, हाउ इट कम्स आउट. So maybe this and another story I'll tell you. So through the kavita, there is this feeling the emotion of a small girl.
Yeah, we can do that.
बॉक्स ऑफिस में आ जाओ. या
Dha arinda ra din din da da tin tin ta tra ka din din da da arinda ra din din da da tin tin ta tra ka din din da da thei thei tat a thei thei. एक समय गृह से निकसी आली पहिन के चीर सुरंगी साड़ी खेलत कूदत जाही रही सखी जाही रही नंदलाल की बाड़ी कच्ची कली एक तोड़ लई यही कारण बाह मरोरत माली आग लगी ब्रिज की बगिया एक फूल के कारण लाखन गारी एक फूल के कारण लाखन गारी एक फूल के कारण लाखन गारी. So here she starts crying only, and in the end she takes out all her anger on that. Okay? So this was a small tiny example of what we do in Kavitya. So एक छोटी सी कहानी within a tiny framework. Now a story where Krishna, wow, lovely, lovely, thank you so much. So here everybody knows the story where Krishna is संग में लिए ग्वाल बाल नटनागर नंदलाल गोवर्धन जात है. So here Krishna, here the scenario is where the Vrindavan Vasis, the villagers, are going to worship the Mount Govardhan. If you have heard the story, so this goes against Indra's pujas. Alright, उन्होंने इंद्र की पूजा बंद की है and they are going to worship Govardhan Parvat, which Krishna had instructed the Gaonvasis to do. This angers Indra. इंद्र देख क्रोध करत सननन पुरवाई चलत धड़ धड़ बादल गरजत तड़ तड़ बिजली चमकत बरसत मूसलाधार सखियां सब बही जात कृष्णचंद्र गोवर्धन नख पर उठाए ले ब्रज को बचाए ले देव ऋषि आकाश से फूल बरसाए देत नारायण नाच गाये कृष्ण को रिझावत है. नादिक दिक नादिक दिक, इसमें पूरा चक्कर है तो आई विल नॉट बी टेकिंग द चक्कर्स, आई माइट हिट समथिंग. नादिक दिक नादिक दिक थोदिक दिक त्राम तत्तथै वो लास्ट में तिहाई लेकर के खत्म होती है. तिंता त्रक दिन दिंदारा अदिंदारा दिंदा तिन तिंता त्रक दिन दिंदारा अदिंदारा दिंदारा तिन तिंता त्रक दिन दिंदाता थई थई तत आ थई थई संग में लिए ग्वाल बाल नटनागर नंदलाल गोवर्धन जात है सखियां सब उमंग भरी गिरिवर की पूजा करी. नादिक दिक थो दिक दिक त्राम तत्तथै आनंद मनावत है. इंद्र देख क्रोध कर सननन पुरवाई चलत धड़ धड़ बादल गरजत तड़ तड़ बिजली चमकत बरसत मूसलाधार सखियां सब बही जात कृष्ण चंद्र गोवर्धन नख पर उठाए ले ब्रज को बचाए ले देव ऋषि आकाश से फूल बरसाए दे नारायण नाच गाय कृष्ण को रिझावत है. नादिक दिक थो त्राम thai, tram ta ta thai, tram ta 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 thai. It ends. That ends.
Singing.
So these are tiny, tiny pieces through which we say a story. It's all about storytelling.
Wonderful.
Audio or the lyrics that was told was
Which language? Yeah.
name to it.
Kavitta. Kavitta.
Kavi.
What is it called?
Kavitta. 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 Kavita, when it's danced on, because there's a rhythm to it. So वो rhythm को follow करके, and it is following a cycle of 16 beats.
Okay.
तो वो जो cycle में सम पे आके फिर खत्म होता है.
There's so much maths, no? There's a math as well in it.
Yeah, there is a math. But then you forget the math.
Yeah. There's a pattern. Let's call it a pattern then. Math is a difficult
No,
one.
इसमें math उतना matter नहीं करता. When you're doing the technical aspect of the dance, this is the abhinaya aspect.
Okay.
So there is a abstract part. हमारे भी abstract है. Abstract is there हमारे. Abstract part जो है जिसमें emotions नहीं होते हैं. It is not representing anything. It's just the beauty of the movements along with the music. वो time cycle को follow करके किया जाता है. There, full maths is involved.
Invite us to one of these. Yeah.
Who would think as a student they always keep saying this, why math? क्या करना है हमको life में?
Exactly, it's
everywhere.
simple math of fractions.
Fractions as well.
No, my. But yeah, I'm serious. Do invite us sometime when something like this is
You
happening.
won't be seeing
Yeah.
ना। यहाँ पे आप दोनों कर रहे हैं, that's why.
Yeah. We generally don't need to sing. So we always have a person doing the padant for us.
Okay.
So she should have done it for me. और पीछे बैठ के आराम से वो enjoy कर रही थी.
Whenever you're dancing, we're always mesmerized. हम कुछ नहीं बोल पाएंगे.
Such a nice way to escape, huh? Mesmerize and all. So we
Lovely. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Definitely.
To see more of
Wow. Sure. I would love to have you all.
Fabulous.
Oh, wow.
Fabulous.
अरे वाह.
छोटा वो अपनी बगाली.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wait. This is brilliant.
And there's a last part where you're supposed to also scribble for us.
Scribble?
Yeah. like ये मेरा subject नहीं है पर ये करना है.
ठीक है. Scribble भी करेंगे.
हाँ. Let's do this.
But it is
Give back दे दो मुझे.
It is a charcoal you use.
charcoal.